Good morning, students. Welcome to the online classes of Triveni Memorial Senior Secondary School. Today we are going to continue our fourth unit, section 3 of English Reader Book for class 8. The name of the third section is After 20 Years. This is a story and we'll complete the chapter with the exercise. Okay, we'll read the chapter and then go to the exercise portion. The policeman on the beat moved up the avenue impressively. The impressiveness was habitual and not for show, for spectators were few. The time was barely 10 o'clock at night, but chilly gusts of wind with a taste of rain in them had well nigh depeopled the streets. Now the first paragraph tells us about a policeman roaming in the streets, and it was habitual for him. He was going to check out what's going on in the streets, and time was around 10 o'clock in the night. It was cold night, it was chilly wind with a taste of rain. That is, there was some rainfall also. Okay. The vicinity was one that kept in early hours. Now and then you might see the lights of cigar store or an all-night lunch counter. But the majority of the doors belonged to business places that had long since been closed. Now you could see, as here you saw that it was depeopled. That is, there were very few people in the streets. So if you could roam through the streets, you will find only a few cigar stores or all-night lunch counter, as nobody was there. Okay. When about midway of a certain block, the policeman suddenly slowed his walk. In the doorway of a darkened hardware store, a man leaned with an unlighted cigar in his mouth. As the policeman walked up to him, the man spoke up quickly. Now, policeman saw a man sitting in a darkened hardware store. Okay, man leaned with an unlighted cigar. Okay, not a simple cigar in the mouth. As the policeman walked up, the man spoke up quickly. "It's all right, officer," he said. "I'm just waiting for my friend. It's an appointment made 20 years ago. Sounds a little funny to you, doesn't it? Well, I'll explain if you'd like to make certain. It's all straight. About that long ago, there used to be a restaurant where this store stands. Big Joe Brady's restaurant. Now that a man with an unlighted cigar in the mouth said, "It's all right, officer. I'm just waiting for my friend. It's an appointment made 20 years ago. It may be funny for you, but I can explain if you want me to. There was a restaurant named Big Joe Brady Restaurant. Okay. Until 5 years ago," policeman says, "yeah, 5 years ago, that was torn down, that was demolished, and hardware store was made here." The man in the doorway struck a match and lit his cigar. Now the man lit his cigar, lighted his cigar. The light showed a pale, square, jawed face with keen eyes and a little white scar near his right eyebrow. His scarf pin was a large diamond, oddly set. Now, when he was lighting his cigar, the policeman could see light shadowed, could see a pale, square-jawed face. Square-jawed face, we have different types of jaws. Okay, designings are different. So it's a square-jawed face with keen eyes and little white scar near the eyebrows, near the right eyebrow. His scarf pin also had a diamond on it. Okay. 20 years ago tonight, said the man, "I dined here at Big Joe Brady's with Jimmy Wells, my best chum and the finest chap in the world. Best chum, best friend." Okay. "He and I were raised here in New York just like two brothers together. I was 18 and Jimmy was 20. The next morning, I was to start for the West to make my fortune. You couldn't have dragged Jimmy out of New York. He thought it was the only place on earth. Well, we agreed that night that we would meet here again exactly 20 years from that date and time, no matter what our conditions might be or from what distance we might have to come. We figured that in 20 years each of us ought to have our destiny worked out and our fortunes made, whatever they were going to be." Now this paragraph says 20 years ago tonight, the same day 20 years ago. I was having dinner with my best friend, my best chum, and the best person in the world, Jimmy Wells. Okay, I was having dinner at Big Job Ready. Okay, and I wanted to leave New York and go to West for better living. Jimmy never wanted to leave New York, as for him this was the only place in the world. Okay, so we made a promise that we will meet 20 years after the same at the same place. Okay, and till then we will know what our fortunes are, and we'll tell each other what we got. Okay, and what may the conditions be? We will reach this same place 20 years after, and it doesn't matter how much distance we need to cover. We will meet here. Okay. It sounds pretty interesting, said the policeman. Rather a long time between meets, though, it seems to me. Haven't you heard from your friend since you left? Now the policeman says it is interesting. Haven't you talked to your friend in a while? Well, yes, for a time we corresponded, said the other. But after a year or two, we lost track of each other. You see, the West is a pretty big proposition, and I kept hustling around over it pretty lively. But I know Jimmy will meet me here if he's alive, for he always was the truest, staunchest old chap in the world. He'll never forget. I came 1,000 miles miles to stand in this door tonight, and it's worth it if my old partner turns up. Staunchest means loyal. Okay. Now he says, well, yes, for first 2 years we had contact with each other, but after that I was too busy in West, and we could not contact each other. But I know my best friend Jimmy will turn up if he is alive. Okay, he is the loyalist, he is the honest person in the world. Okay, he says I came thousands of miles to meet him, and it will be worthy if my old friend turns up. If my old friend comes to me to meet me. The waiting man pulled out a handsome watch. The lids of it said with small diamonds, 3 minutes to 10, he announced. It was exactly 10 o'clock when we parted here at the restaurant door. Now the man with the cigar took out his watch. The watch had diamonds at 2, and it was reading 3 minutes to 10. He said, 3 more minutes. It was 10 when we had promised you. Okay. Did pretty well out in the West, didn't you? Asked the policeman. Now policeman says, I think you were pretty well in the West, aren't you? As he saw that even the scarf pin had a diamond, and also the watch was consisting of diamond sets. You bet. I hope Jimmy has done half as well. He says, I know Jimmy will be there with at least half of what I got. He was a kind of plodder. Plodder means someone who is slow learner, slow starter, but reaches after some time. Though good fellow as he was, I had to compete with some of the sharpest wits going to get my pile. A man gets into a groove in New York. It takes the West to put a razor edge on him. The policeman twirled his club and took a step or two. It will be on my way. I'll be on my way. Hope your friend comes around alright. Going to call time on him, sharp. Now, Jimmy says I bet he would have earned at least half of what I have earned. He says I had to compete with some of the sharpest mind in West, and says you can be brought up in New York, but you may have grooves in New York, but in West, West put razor edge. That is, West sharpens your skill. Okay, and now the policeman says, I'll be on my way. I need. Hope your friend comes around tonight. Going to call on time sharp. Now he says, will you leave the place at 10 only? I should say no, not, said the other. I'll give him half an hour at least. If Jimmy is alive on earth, he'll be here by that time. So long, officer. Now the cigar man says that no, I'll wait at least for half an hour because I know my friend, if he is alive, he will be here by then. Good night, sir, said the policeman passing on along his beat, trying doors as he went. Now policeman leaves. There was now a fine, cold drizzle falling, and the wind had risen from its uncertain puffs into a steady blow. The few pedestrians in the neighborhood hurried dismally and silently along with coat collars turned high and pocketed hands. Now it was again silence over there, and people were moving calmly, quietly, with the pockets in their hand. As I told you, it was cold winter night, and a bit of rain was also there. So, in the door of hardware store, the man who had come 1,000 miles to fill an appointment with a friend of his youth smoked his cigar and waited. Cigar man smoked his cigar and waited for his friend. About 20 minutes he waited, and then a tall man in a long overcoat with collar turned up to his ears, hurried across from the opposite side of the street. He went directly to the waiting man. Now there was a tall man who directly went to the waiting man to meet him. Is that you, Bob? He asked doubtfully. Is that you, Jimmy Wells? Right, the man in the door. Bless my heart. Finally, they both met. Bless my heart, exclaimed the new arrival, grasping both the other's hands with his own. It's Bob, sure as fate. I was certain I'd find you here if you were still in existence. Now he says, the other man, that I knew if you are in existence, if you are alive, you will be here. Well. 20 years is a long time. The old restaurant's gone. Bob, I wish it had lasted, so we could have had another dinner here. How has the West treated you, old man? Now Jimmy says, Bob, I wish the restaurant was still here and we could have had dinner once again at the same place. But whatever. How are you? How the living is there in the West? It has given me everything I asked it for. You have changed a lot, Jimmy. I never thought you were so tall by 2 or 3 inches. Okay. Now Bob says that you became taller. I didn't know that you are 2 or 3 inches taller than me. Now Jimmy says, I grew a bit taller after my 20s. Doing well in New York, Jimmy. Moderately, I have a position in one of the city departments. Come on, Bob, we'll go around to a place and have a good long talk about old times. Now Jimmy says that I have a position in one of city departments. Okay, come on, let's move on, let's walk around and remember our old times. The two men started up the street, arm in arm. One, his egotism, unlatched by success, was beginning to outline the history of his career. The other, submerged in his overcoat, listened with interest. Now the two men started moving on, and the cigar man was the one. He started showing what he got, what he earned in West, showing his ego. Okay, egotism enlarged with success. Okay, and the other person, the tall guy, was in his overcoat, listening carefully. At the corner stood a drugstore, brilliant with electric lights. When they came into this glare, each of them turned simultaneously to gaze upon the other's face. Now there is a drugstore, that is a medical store, that had beautiful lights, and when they reached there, they both looked at each other's face. The man from the west stopped suddenly and released his arms. Now Cigar Man released his arms. You are not Jimmy Wells, he snapped. 20 years is a long time, but not that much long that long enough to change a man's nose from a Roman to a pug. So you are not Jimmy Wells. It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one, said the tall man. You have been under arrest for 10 minutes, silky Bob. Going quietly, are you? That's sensible. Now before we go to the station, here's a note I was asked to hand you. You may read it here at the window. It's from Patrolman Wells. Okay. Now he tells that Bob, you are under arrest from last 10 minutes. So don't shout. Just move with me quietly and calmly to the policeman. And before leaving on, take this note and read it. It was given to me by Patrolman Wells. The man from the west unfolded the little piece of paper handed over to him. He unfolded the note. His hand was steady. Now he started reading the note. Okay. His hand was steady, but it trembled. Trembles shake. Okay. By the time he finished, his hand trembled. The note was very short. Bob, I was at the appointed place on time. When you struck the match to light your cigar, I saw it was the face of the man wanted in Chicago. Somehow I couldn't do it myself, so I went around and got a plainclothesman to do the job, says Jimmy. Now Jimmy says that I was with you. Actually, the policeman that Bob met the first time was his friend Jimmy Wells. Mm. But Jimmy Wells got to know that Bob was wanted in Chicago. As he was his friend, he was unable to arrest him, so he sent another person. Okay. So that's it from the reading portion. Let's move on to the exercise now. Read and answer. Give examples to prove that although Bob and Jimmy had not met for 20 years, they both cared for each other. Bob and Jimmy cared for each other as Bob wanted Jimmy to move to West, but Jimmy always denied. But Bob knew that Jimmy was going to do something at least half of what Bob achieved in West. Also, he knew that if Jimmy was alive, he would come to meet him even after 20 years. Why were the streets deep-peopled? The streets were deep-peopled as it was late in the night and freezing cold with some rain. Whom was Bob waiting for? Why was he waiting? Bob was waiting for his friend Jimmy. He was waiting as 20 years ago they both BOTH. Okay? Both promised to meet again at the same place to know what they earned and what would be their fortune after 20 years. Bob had prospered in his years away from his friend. How do we come to know this? Bob wore a scarf pin that too had a diamond on it. He also wore a handsome watch that too had set of small diamonds in it, whereas his friend Jimmy was a policeman with a simple lifestyle. Now think and answer. I came 1,000 miles to stand in this door tonight and it's worth it. What does these words convey about Bob? These words convey that Bob was willing to meet his friend after 20 years as he had not forgotten the love and bond they shared during their youth. He wanted to meet his friend Jimmy and was sure that his friend will certainly come to meet him if he is alive. Why did Jimmy not reveal his identity? Because revealing his identity would have become the barrier in Jimmy's duty. It would be impossible for him to arrest his friend for his deeds, as Bob was most wanted in Chicago. What do you think Bob wished to prove Jimmy? Bob wished to prove to Jimmy that his decision to move the West was the better option as moving to West gave him whatever he dreamt of. A great lifestyle with all the luxury he could imagine. We can see this as Bob was wearing a diamond scarf pin and a diamond watch too. Now reference to context. It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one. Who said this and to whom? The tall man said this to Bob. Who does it refer to? It refers to the time. Where did the speaker say this? Why did the speaker say this? Because his friend changed from a good person to a bad one in 20 years. What happens next? Bob is arrested by the tall man. So students, that's it from the chapter. We have read the chapter, completed the exercise. Before leaving the video, like it, subscribe the channel, share the video. Till then, take care, have a nice day. Thank you.